Today is restaurant day. I had a great breakfast with Annalise this morning. It's kind of unplanned, but we got to go out and hang out together, and now I'm on my way to meet a real good friend of mine for lunch. So, pretty good day so far, in spite of the rain. Another rainy day, hopefully the last one as this storm kind of passes. But I'm going to meet a good friend of mine for lunch, and yesterday I was on the island, and my second meeting on the island was a lunch appointment, and it was pouring down rain, and there was a little bit of flooding in different parts of the island. But my client and I drove around for a good 20 minutes just trying to find a restaurant. Every place that we normally would go was closed. And we finally wound up at this little local hole-in-the-wall burger bar place. And so we ate there, and it was packed because it was the only thing open. And we were joking about it, like if you had your restaurant open today, you'd make a killing because nobody else is open. And sure enough, the one place that we found was packed, and I don't know what their normal lunch crowd looks like, but I guarantee you yesterday was a record-setting day for them. Now, I get it. I know why those other places were closed. There's a storm out. A lot of people are probably going to be staying inside. You have a staff that you have to pay. You have kitchen staff that you have to pay to come in and prep and get ready for the lunch hour. And all the places that we looked at, most of the places we looked at that were closed, I mean, they're fairly nice places. They would have that kind of overhead. And the place that we wound up at, there is no overhead. They have a small lunch crowd. They have a big lunch crowd. It doesn't really break the bank if their lunch crowd isn't quite big enough. So I get it. I understand why those other places decided not to open for lunch. But what's interesting is the place that we did wind up at, they probably had the biggest excuse of any of the places we visited to close during the storm. The parking lot was flooded. They had almost no parking. They're on a road that everybody knows is going to flood. So they had pretty much every reason to close, but they decided not to. And I gotta give them props for that, for a real specific reason. What I admire about that decision is that circumstances give them every feasible reason to close. The weather wasn't good, the location wasn't great, customers were gonna have a hard time getting there given the water. Everybody else was closed. Like, everybody would have given them a free pass for closing, but they chose to stay open. And that's really the kind of the point I want to make today. There are times when circumstances favor you. They had the lowest cost model. They could open up, and if nobody showed up, it wasn't a big risk for them. So they were in the sweet spot in terms of the big question mark. Are people or are people not going to eat? Is the storm going to hit, or is the storm not going to hit? What should we do? And for them, that call was much lower risk than everybody else. So the circumstance favored them, but the general market, the climate, what everybody else was doing, kind of the herd mentality was, let's close up shop. It's not worth it today. Yeah, we got a long weekend coming up. Maybe we'll make it up on Labor Day. The owner of that restaurant that we wound up at said, I see where the herd is going. I see where everybody else is going, and I recognize that I have a unique opportunity in front of me because I'm kind of set up to take advantage of this circumstance, and I'm not going to blow it. And that's important because a lot of times people will blow it because all they look at is the herd, and they fail to see that not only do they have a good opportunity, but they are uniquely suited to fill that spot at that particular time. This is a small example that is a really good illustration of what it takes to separate yourself from what everybody else is doing and take advantage of an opportunity that's staring you in the face that you won't get all the time. That's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.